Well, hello, scrappers. I hope you're having a wicked good day. This is Karen Mahoney, Creative Memories Advisor in the New England area. And I wanted to just kind of show you a cute little layout I made last night. And it kind of took my brain a little bit to figure it out. I'm not a math whiz. I am not necessarily great with cuts and things like that. So I had to figure it out. I am, however, a lover of the look of quilts. I love quilt patterns and things like that. And it's kind of fun to take a quilt pattern and make it into a scrapbooking layout or using with paper. So I spent last night figuring it out. I did see a quilt pattern that I liked a lot. It was like a ribbon pattern, so it was more like a twisted ribbon look. It's a faux look, meaning it's not really a continuous piece of paper. So I found a photo of a quilt that I liked a lot. I went real close up to try to figure out how they did it and how I could make it with my 12-inch trimmer and my Creative Memories products. So this is what I did first. And I'm talking about this side of the layout. That's the look that I'm talking about right now. So if you look right here, this is kind of what I made last night, looking really close. Now in a quilt, they're making everything out of, well, at least this particular one, because I'm not a quilter. I don't know everything about quilting. But they used, it's a bunch of triangles. If you look really close, it's really just a bunch of triangles put together. So I saw how they did it. I saw that they basically started out with a square and cut the square into triangles. This happened to be the one I looked at, I did a 2x2 square, cut it in half, and in some instances cut it into quarters for the smaller pieces. So that's what I started out with. So then I wanted to figure out, well, that's an awful lot of cuts in melding things together, which I didn't particularly like the look a lot. It was hard to match things up. I didn't really like the look of just using triangles. So I know with the Creative Memories trimmer, we can do better than that, especially with the 45-degree angle on it. So if you turn around, this is my second try where I used the trimmer, the 45-degree angle. So I have more of these angled, this is all angled pieces and squares. So I figured out what the measurements were, and this is what we're going to give a go to. If you can come up with better measurements with me, you're a rock star, because I would love that. But this is what I came up with. So starting out with a 2x2 square, I figured out the measurements and what I had to do. So let's get started with this. I'm going to make this look. I will tell you this, when it's finished, it will be slightly smaller than 12x12, which is why I have this look right here. So I'm cutting one piece of double-sided paper, and I'm going to use this blue from the Flurry of Fun pack. And on the back has kind of a blues, kind of a clouded look, kind of a snowstormy kind of look on here. So it's nice and different. It makes a nice look. You want two pieces that aren't too much the same is what it is. So, and then I also I have this 12x2 strip of paper that is going to be the negative space. I didn't want just white for the negative space. I wanted a slightly different pattern. It's like a herringbone kind of a pattern that I'm using. It's this side. We may decide we like it better with this side, but right now I'm planning to use this side. And I did the same thing on this one. You can see that right there. So let's get going on this. So I have my 2x12 piece of the base that I'm going to stick everything on. And as in notes that I took for myself is the thickness of these strips and the squares is 1 3/8 of an inch. Now, if you're not good at measuring, my husband's a carpenter, so measuring I can do. So you can have 1 inch, and then you count 1, 2, 3 eighths would be right here, because the little tiny notches are 16ths. The slightly bigger notches are eighths, and then obviously you have your half. So we're going to do 3 eighths, 1 3/8 of an inch. One, two, three. So I'm going to cut 1 because we're going to need 3 of these. So I'm going to cut 2. I'm going to need 3 of the longer pieces. As you can see, that's that there. I need 3 of these, and then I'm going to need 3 squares. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces, and each piece is going to be 1 3/8 of an inch. Careful to make sure that you're where you want to be on both ends of the trimmer. I always take my time when measuring, because this is something that will look off if it's not cut correctly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, when you do the 45-degree angles, you need to make sure you're cutting your first angle. So I'm going to cut my first angle. I'm going to put the top right on my cutting line here. Sorry, right on my cutting line, making sure that here is against the 45-degree line right here. So even if it takes you a minute to really get it exact how you want it, take your time to do this. Put it on the line so you have the correct angle, and then put it at the cutting. So it's going to cut right there. If you ever want to check, you take out your little sight guides, make sure it's cutting where you want it to. I'm going to push it up a little bit. Taking that time to make sure it's right where you want it to cut. Okay, so I have this. I'm going to put this aside. I may end up having to use it. So then I have my first cut, and you can see, and I'm telling you, it's worth making a template the first time if you want to make a template and write your measurements just so you have it for you. And I have, this template is on just a white piece of cardstock, so it's nice and heavy. So then I'm going to want to cut it 2 inches. Now, if you notice, if I push this up to the 2 inches, there's really no 2 inches on this side. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to cut my 2 inches this way. And it will cut correctly. Just make sure you get to the, here's the 2 inches, put it against your 45-degree angle, and line it up. So you're lining it in 2 places, on the 45-degree and the 2-inch line. Making sure to take your time and that it's lined up correctly. There you go. There's my first piece. And I'm going to just do it again until I have 3 pieces. Now, I can't remember if I had to cut into my second piece for this, but we'll see in a minute. I don't think I did. So there's 2. Being very careful to make sure you're on the 45-degree line and the 2-inch space. There you go. That's 3. That's all I'm going to need. And if you want to just kind of put it on your template just to make sure you have things how you want it, and you've cut all the pieces you want. Now what I will do is pull square from this. So this is 1 3/4, 1 3/8 wide. You need to also cut 1 3/8 because you want a square. I want a good square. Okay, so that, let's see, 1 3/8, 1 3, oh, did I? Okay, I did do that right. I don't know why. It does not look square to me, but I think it's because the pattern of the paper, it makes it look like a rectangle, but it really is a square. So, that's very strange. And I need another one. And then I'm going to need one more that I'm going to cut in 2 triangles. So I've got one more. And I'm going to put the 2 points here. It's going to be a little tricky to cut. I have a feeling I'm going to have to move this a little bit because it moved. I'm going to take my sight line, make sure we're in a good place. And we are. Perfect. And that should be good for that. So I'm going to take my piece here. I'm just going to line it up. And I'm going to start with these pieces being flipped over. I'm going to put my triangle. This is just, I like to lay things out before I stick them down. And then that's going to go there. Then I have my square right there. And then this right here. Flipping this over for my square. This one again, right there. And then this one will go like this. And then I have some left over. And that's fine because this is the look I kind of want on this. So I'm going to go through and I think it's going to make it a little easier if I put this sideways because it's a little too far away from me. I have my silicone mat. And definitely use repositionable tape because it will make your life easier. Okay, and be real, take your time. Get the little corners, make sure you get the corners for your repositionable. Really tape it down so corners aren't lifting up. There we go. It's worth really using your tape on this one. Okay. And just keep putting it on. It doesn't have to be exact. Honestly, like I said, I'm sure there's probably a better measurement that I just haven't figured out yet. And if I do, I certainly will share. But it's only a scrapbook layout. So we're not going to panic if it's not exact. We're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. It's much easier than it looks. Just lining it up. And one more piece to go. And we'll put that right there. Oh. This is why we use repositionable. Oh, and I don't think I did that right. That was silly. Definitely why I'm using repositionable. I put my triangle on wrong. Okay, see, isn't that great? So then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut this little extra off. And this is the look we have. And then I'm going to take a piece of bright white. Cardstock. And this is why I didn't use a piece of scrap, because I wanted to have this leftover piece. Now I'm going to measure this. So I've got, all right, so I have 3/8 of an inch I cut off the bottom of this. So I'm going to cut off 3/8 of an inch from this one. I'm going to do it this way, I think. So let's see. So if I have a quarter is 2/8, and then 3/8 will be right here. I'm going to cut that off. And this is going to go here. And this is going to go here. And it makes a really quick, cute little layout. You can make 2 of these if you had 2 sheets and make a double page spread. You could also do it this way if you wanted to. If you wanted to have this color on this side, this actually looks really cute too. Such decisions. I don't know. I think I want to do this, and then maybe I'll use some darker mattes on there. I'm going to do that because I did it the other way on my other layout, which we'll kind of look at again once I finish this. All right, so I'm going to put this on first, kind of just going to eyeball it. This is why I love a multi-purpose tool, because I got to pick something up. And there it is. And then you can put some mats on it like I did here. This is from an older variety mat pack, but I just really liked it with this paper. This was from a Christmas one, and I did some white mats here. And I've got this one, and I think, no, I'm not going to use this paper. I can use this, I think I might use that. Actually, I'm going to use this. And I'm going to cut a couple of quick mats, just 2 for now, just to give you a visual. I do love this Flurry of Fun paper. It's really a great, versatile paper pack. I don't have the mats. The mats are in the barn, so I don't have them on me here. But just picture, or I can even put, I can put a photo here and put another photo here. And that's it. So this is, I'm going to call it the Twisted Ribbon, Faux Twisted Ribbon. I think that's what we're calling it, Faux Twisted Ribbon. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. I'd love to see what you come up with. But that's it. So thanks for watching.